Greetings, this is Cafe Cabaret, and this week we present The Wrong Hero in Exotic Freak and Chaos, live at AS220 Volume 5. See, the picture's none too clear here. In fact, now it's getting progressively worse. But it will suffice for a logo. AS220, of course, is located in Providence, Rhode Island at 115 Empire Street. You know, it looks to me like I've just about lost the entire picture. Anyhow, please enjoy The Wrong Hero in Exotic Freak.
Yeah, he does a lot of special stuff. He films this act for television. It's actually going to be on next Thursday in between Friends and Seinfeld. So please welcome The Wrong Hero.
Ignore that curtain behind the man. In keeping with the Easter season, I'd like to do an impression. Jesus and the Gadarene swine. This is a genuine crown of thorns. Now, most of the time I can't even stand to wear a hat, so I don't know how I'm going to do this. How are you all? Great? Good? Fine? As well? Dandy? I like the hat. It's sort of like Woody Guthrie. Very nice. Very nice. It goes well with the turtleneck, too. Now, if you had a guitar, give you on a boxcar out of here, it'd be swell. It'd be great. Bound for glory, you know, we can shoot it right here. Nice scarf. Very, very nice. Festive red jacket, too. Very nice. I'm totally sincere. I don't have much else to do up here except admire your sartorial sense. Greg, as always, has that fashionable scarf. Greg Dalton, one of our performers for tonight. I want to talk a little bit about religious things, but I promise not to be boring. I hope anyway. You wouldn't believe it, but I'm incredibly nervous. 30 people, and I'm just freaking out here. And I don't know, maybe 30 has an eerie significance for me. 30 pieces of silver. And anyway, I always used to ask questions. I'm Catholic, and I used to always ask questions of the priest. Like when I was in second grade, the priest would come to visit. We never saw priests, we always saw nuns most of the time, so this is a real special occasion. And they encouraged us to ask him questions. And the question I asked him led to a 20-minute explanation, which I didn't comprehend. And the question was, if God always was and always will be, then why weren't we born 100 years ago? And he sort of stepped back for a minute there, and he said, so you wanted to be a cowboy, huh? No, that's not the point, damn it! Well, you couldn't answer that. Well, but this failure of his to answer my question sort of led me to obsess on religion. Like, when I was 10 years old on Halloween, most of the kids were dressed up as pirates and hobos and clowns and ballerinas. My costume was the ontological proof of the existence of God, which was kind of an unusual costume. And I have to say, I believe in the Bible's teachings because it's a lot easier than actually having to read the thing. If you know what I mean. And Judy Cagney begat Edgar G. Robinson. Edward G. Robertson begat Louis dropped the gat, and Louis dropped the gat, begat the gat tree, and just kind of get your head swimming. Well, some of the things I used to wonder about is whether there were cars in the afterlife, and if so, whether there were bumper stickers in the afterlife. Now, I was thinking maybe some bumper stickers in heaven would be something along the lines of My co-pilot is God. Or caution, Messiah on board. Or honk if you are Jesus. Or maybe ask me about my previous lives. I break for celestial choirs, things like that. Got any hellish music? Like theme from The Exorcist? Because bumper stickers in hell, there's a whole other story right there. Like bumper stickers in hell. Ask me about my eternal torment. Well, I'll tell you. You spent 10 years studying, and then all of a sudden, somebody asks a question like that, and you lose your train of never fear. Bumper stickers in hell. Things like, my other car is a pitchfork. Welcome to sunny hell, sin playground. If you don't like how I drive, kiss my nether regions. Caution, Rosemary's Baby on board. What the heer are you looking at? Don't blame me. I voted for McGovern. I break for Beelzebub. And of course the ever popular honk if you've betrayed our Lord. Well, reading the Bible, I had a lot of questions. Questions about the Old Testament. On the seventh day, God rested. What did he do on the eighth day? Bowl? Open up an 8-pack, Noah. What if when he was on the ark, Noah had gotten drunk and said, "Hey, fuck it! Throw the animals overboard! Bring the fish up here!" Where would we be? He got crushed by a whale, and that would be the end of it. Of course, technically speaking, a whale is actually a mammal, I know. If you get the word Yahweh and you use it in Scrabble, do you get the extra 50 points? Is it true that you can't love God unless God loves himself? If God is all-powerful, then why doesn't the alphabet begin with the letter G? Is there a special God whistle only can hear? That was it. And the New Testament. I had far more questions about the New Testament. Can you kill the Holy Ghost, or is it already too late? When Mary was pregnant with Jesus, did she drink coffee? If Joseph was a carpenter, why couldn't he make a nice cradle for the baby Jesus? When Jesus was a kid, did he collect coins, and if so, did he give away his coin collection? When he took a shower, did he walk up the nozzle while the shower was running? Did he leave his face on all the towels? At the wedding of Cana, when he changed all that water into wine, wasn't that enabling behavior? Is any of that wine still around? Is it any good? At the Last Supper, he said, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and render unto God what is God's. Or at the Last Supper, did he order the Caesar salad? And did he order the all-you-can-eat loaves and fishes buffet, or would that have been redundant? And in the Last Supper, did he try to save money by ordering one dish and multiplying it by 12? And when the waiter's back was turned, did he change all the water into wine, sneaky? If they had Last Supper action figures, Would it be Jesus and the 11 apostles, Judas sold separately? If Jesus' blood was wine, does that mean he was always drunk? Driving that ox cart, you got a BAC of 100, you know? When he was making that long march to Golgotha, was he tempted to use the crown of thorns as a frisbee? If the good thief was such a good thief, then why didn't he steal away with Jesus? When he was being crucified, was his gym coach there from high school saying, "Come on, you sissy, walk it off, that wound ain't so bad"? Was the crucifixion just a dice game that went terribly, terribly wrong? Did the angel really roll the stone away, or was it juvenile delinquents? And when Jesus went to heaven, who got custody of the halo? Now, nowadays, Christianity, world religions in general, they are a source of division and tribalism. And, well, I often wonder when I see all these televangelists begging for money so that they can glorify the Lord and fight Satan, well, where's the equal time for the devil worshippers that ask for money for Satan so they can fight God? And if indeed we are to have a moment of prayer in public schools, then shouldn't we have a moment of noise in private Bible schools? You know, it's my personal belief that God is not dead. He just doesn't like crowds. And that's why you seldom find him in a church. Now, if Jesus were to come back today, I'd be totally in awe and all that stuff, but I think he'd like me. Because, you know, I wouldn't be bashful or anything. I'd just walk right up to him and I'd say, "Lord," and I'd look into those big, blue, omniscient eyes of his, and I'd say, "Lord, can I pick the fleas out of your beard?" Well, I'm the wrong hero, and I had some qualms about doing this because tomorrow is such a holy day for Catholics and Christians in general, and I wrestled with my conscience. But I won. I cheated. And I don't care. I'm the wrong hero. Thank you very much.
Hey, Tex, you left this in my boudoir. Bedroom. While we're setting up for the next act, would you all like to hear a story?
I'd like, in the waning minutes of this presentation, to present some Wrong Hero outtakes. These are portions of the Wrong Hero show that, for whatever reason, forgetfulness mostly, were not included in this main set. Now, the point of this is questions that I used to ask about the Bible and God. But first, a little background. I'm something of a pioneer in the religious field. I invented a Bible for children, and it's called the Bib. And the Old Testament was just one word. No. And the New Testament was also just one word. Because. I also invented a Bible and a religion for dogs. My religion for dogs was called Heel. And the Old Testament was just one word. Sit. And the New Testament was also just one word. Good dog. Jesus the first stand-up comedian? I think so. I think he was literally thousands of years ahead of his time. All that talk of stone tablets and burning bush and seeing God. Basically, he was doing the drunk humor of the 1970s, thousands of years before anybody could have guessed. Now, some questions about Jesus that I didn't get to ask. Could Jesus turn a water cooler into a wine cooler? Could he turn whitewater rafting into white wine rafting? Could he turn a water closet into a wine cellar? And when Jesus was being crucified, did he pretend he was an airplane? Did he think to himself, take that, Pontius Pilate? Hey, Peter, I can see your house from here. Well, to conclude, I believe that God is in the details. And I wish you'd get out of here, because I've been waiting for 20 minutes, and my kidneys are starting to sing Anchors Away.
Alright, now first everyone, I just want to stand correctly that we have the wrong hero. That's correct. Correct. Okay, put your hands together for the wrong hero.
Smokable form. My motto is, don't try me even once. That's how good I am. You'll be happy to know that I've been diagnosed as a manic depressive with schizophrenic tendencies. So I can have your divided attention for a moment. I'd like to talk about the reason I have this cellular phone here is because about 18 months ago, a friend of mine, Jeffrey Wine, went off to Hollywood, and I went to work for MTV, and he said he'd give me a call. Well, of course, that was 18 months ago. I remember his exact words. They were, "Don't call us, we'll call you." So I think I still have a shot. I'm still waiting for him to give me a call on my private line. I'd like to tell you a joke. It's a cute, adorable little joke that my drug dealer friend told me. His mother told him, and his younger brother told his mother. A duck walks into a hardware store. Now I know what you're saying right off the bat. Oh, fuck, no, these stupid talking animal jokes. Jesus! But this is a good joke. I swear, the duck walks into a hardware store and he says to the proprietor, "Got any duck feed?" And the guy running the hardware store says, "No, we don't." Next day, the duck walks into the hardware store and says, "Got any duck feed?" Guy says, "I told you yesterday, no, we don't. And we're not going to get any either, so don't bother coming back in here." So, next day, the duck walks into the hardware store and says, "Got any duck feed?" And the guy running the store says, "Look, you stupid wet-footed bastard! If you come in here one more time, I'm going to nail your fucking feet to the floor!" So the next day, the duck walks into the hardware store and says, "Got any nails?" And the guy says, "No." Then the duck says, "Got any duck feed?" Thanks. Well, I'm like Donald Duck. I got wet feet, and I don't give a fuck if it rains, I'll walk home. You have any problem parking tonight? I think if you did, or if you were stuck in traffic this afternoon, it might have something to do with the fact that the circus is in town. And you know, I love circuses. They're really a great place to take the kids, you know? Like, because all the wonderful things you can see at the circus, like alcoholic clowns with whiskey breath falling off their unicycles, evil ringmasters with thin mustaches cracking whips and critters chained to stakes, manic-depressive chimpanzees playing handball with their own shit. Great place to take the kids. Take them to the circus. Bob Dole. How do you like him? Anybody intend to vote for Mr. Dole? No? Gee, I guess I misjudged my audience. This is going to be an encomium to the great... Okay, there we go. This, no, listen, you gotta love him because, you know, what does he do in the midst of a gasoline shortage? He courageously comes out and says, "Let's get rid of the federal tax on gasoline. Fuck the law of supply and demand." You know, it's great. And, you know, I feel like saying to him, "Bob, I'm going to take that 4.3 cents I saved and go to Mexico and live like a fucking king. I'll get to my neck in bimos, tequila, and heroin. I'm rolling it up West Zero from prostitutes back. Thank you, Dole. That 4.3 cents, that's money from home shit bar." I like to watch Bob Dole. That was my two. I like to watch Bob Dole while wearing yellow sunglasses. That's so I can see a fossil encased in amber. This is not topical material. I just like to insult celebrities I've never met. Thinking going into business. Gonna open up a, you know, they froze Walt Disney? And you know, this cyrogenic or chirogenic thing, they're going to freeze people down the road and revive them when medical science comes up with a cure for what killed them in the first place. You know, sort of like Jesus 3000, you know. But I'm thinking of opening up a cyrogenic pet thing, you know, cyrogenic pet depository. And the motto would be, "I thought I saw a putty cat." Listen, you assholes! Don't you cheer me! I'm a fucking star, do you understand? Woo! Alright. Also thinking of coming out with...
Cryogenic.
Oh, cryogenic, okay. Well, don't cryogenic for me, Argentina. Hey, what do you want, man? Coming out with an OJ action figure, bloody gloves sold separately, you know? That's gonna be my big money maker. Around Easter time, I saw the 10 Commandments, you know? Cecil B. DeMille is the voice of God, solid. Charlton Heston is Moses, okay. But the villain, you know, they could have got Jimmy Stewart, like, "I don't know, Moses, I don't think parting the Red Sea is such a good idea." But they got, who they get? Edgar G. Robinson. Talk about miscasting. It's like, all right, drop the guy. Come on now, we got you surrounded, say. So, that didn't really work for me. And you know, also around Easter, pretty recently actually, they showed Cool Hand Luke. And it's like Wow, Christ died for our sins. Oh, big deal. So did Frankenstein, King Kong, and Cool-Hand Luke. You know, the whole thing was just, instead of being crucified, he ate 50 eggs. Take it, boss. Yeah, that's right. So don't worry too much about Cool-Hand Luke having died. He'd be dead by now after eating 50 eggs anyway. And, you know, I love the Virgin Mary, the sensitive depiction of his mother as an obese, chain-smoking slob who lives in the back of a pickup truck. Wow, talk about modern concepts. But the big thing about Cool-Hand Luke, oh, you know, I love that scene where he goes, hey, some nice shooting, boss, and Luke, you don't want to mess with the man with no eyes. Just really broke me up. I love that. And you know, television, I've been watching a lot of television, wondering why. And it's like, you ever see those beef Baroni ads with all of these orphans basically running to this gigantic table with this slop on it? This is the first time we've been fed in days. And they homemade like angry locusts, you know. So I was thinking, yeah, Newt Gingrich contract with America, what's next? We're having orphan-roni, beef flavored product in macaroni, orphan-roni's full of germs, orphan-roni's made with worms, and coyote epitherms, hooray! For St. Man's comes through. You know, I just love it. And the Mountain Dew thing. You see this with these blase 20-somethings sitting around, you know, Washington crossing the Delaware. Been there, done that. Jesus being crucified. Hey, little dudes, don't try that at home. I did it, though. You know, Hiroshima. Boring. And then Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew, never experienced this before. Massive amounts of sugar and caffeine. All right, what a way to keep physically fit. You know, to wipe the grime off your windshield. Think of what it does for your stomach. Yeah, Mountain Dew. Yahoo! Does that mean you love me or you want me to leave? Oh, thanks, pals. Hey, I'm still waiting for that call from my agent, okay? The Tums people, they're the ones that really get me, you know? This woman, maybe she's in her late 30s, gloating over this cylindrical fish. You know, they hand her these Tums, and she says, Tums, they have calcium. That's what my body needed anyway! You know, it's just, and you know, I know it's pornographic because Tums spelled backwards is smut. But the one I really hate is like Kentucky Fried Chicken. Everybody needs a little KFC. You fucking lemmings, go off the side of the fucking cliff, eat this rat chicken. And it's like, yeah, KFC, home cooking just melts in your mouth. Yeah, so does the mercury from the thermometer, dickhead. Or every Easter time, and you know, it's like, yes, give her the gift that tells her you'd marry her all over again. Give her a diamond because a diamond is forever. Or at least the payments are, you know. It's like, hey honey, how's about instead I give you a lump of coal and you can bury it in the backyard and wait for pressurization. And you said you'd wait for me, well, you know, 30,000 years from now, you'll have your diamond. Oh, fuck this, you know, I'm just gonna call the guy, alright? I'm sick of waiting for his... Hello, Jeff. Well, can I speak to Jeff, please? Fucking Jeff. This goddamn asshole. The second he goes to Hollywood, he forgets all. Jeff, sweetie, baby, honey. How are you, big fella? Hey, listen. Listen, I got a couple jokes for you. I broke my foot. That's because I kicked my agent in the heart. Now, you don't like that one? Okay. Listen, if Jesus came back and he was an agent, instead of walking on water, he'd walk on people. No? Well, listen, I got some shows I'd like to pitch for you. No, this one's great. It's called, you ever see That Darn Cat? This one's called That Fucking Mutt. You're gonna love it. I swear you're gonna love this one. It's about a canine obedience school, and the hero is a dog named Sparky, and he laps beer out of a big tub, and he sets fires, and the pilot episode's gonna have him killing chickens and causing World War III. Now, I really think this show's like gonna be a really great show. Oh, all right. Let me pitch a couple more then. Winnie the Shit. No. Huckleberry Finnegan's Wake. Waiting for Godzilla. Okay, here's one. We're gonna remake A Streetcar Named Desire and call it Fucking Trolley Sluts Triple X. Okay, how's about this one? Go with me, sweetie. Little Ho on the Prairie. How's about The Plot Thickens? It's about a cemetery, you see, and all the zany misadventures. Now, how's about Nathan Hale's cat? He only has 9 lives to give for his country. Okay, how's about this one? I heard you the first time. It's about an illiterate ventriloquist who moves other people's lips when he reads. How about The Voodoo Show? If you do not watch it, you will be horribly cursed. Okay, one more then. Crack Time Theater. Now here's the pilot. We're fooling Mayor Marion Barry and replacing his coffee with crack cocaine crystals. Let's watch. Listen, I am not for sale, okay? My integrity is not for sale. That's why I want you to understand that right now. My integrity is not. How much you offering? Oh, listen, let me get back to you on that one. And yeah, I'll call you. All right, sweetie. Bye-bye. Okay, one more thing. Jolly Rancher passion fruit candies. You look on the back, right? You expect there to be passion fruit candies in here? No! No passion fruit! Let's see, strawberry, raspberry, pineapple, peach, tangerine, fruit punch. Where's the fucking passion fruit? Where is that? I want it! I'm a real hero! I'm used to getting what I want! Thank you all very much! Yellow brick represents gold, and L. Frank Baum wrote the novel in 1900 to represent the struggle between populism, as represented by William Jennings Bryan, who is portrayed in this film version by the Wizard, and the gold standard, represented by the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road, if I only had rain, the heart, the noise. Go away, the Wizard is very busy. But he was my only hope of getting back to Kansas. I am the great and powerful Oz. I am Dorothy, the small and weak. Silence! Don't come back until you bring me the broom of the Wicked Witch of the West. But the only way to get that broom up first if she's dead. Silence! Commercial. Attention, Oz, Oxid doll is made just for you. Look, it's the witch. Surrender, Dorothy. Hey, I thought you didn't have a brain. How can you spell? Shut up.
Puppies, puppies, see, go my flying puppies, and don't come back until you bring me the girl.
Run, Toto, run. N.E.M., N.E.M., Dorothy, Dorothy, N.E.M.
I'll get you out of here, my pretty.
Harrington was in the hourglass. It's almost up. What fucking hourglass are you talking about?
No, you fools, don't let me away. Puppy go this way, puppy go that way.
You display a surprising command of strategy for a witch.
How's about you fire, scarecrow? Oh, Betsy!
You killed her. I didn't mean to. Hooray for Dorothy! The Wicked Witch is dead. Although, because she didn't mean to kill her, we really shouldn't cheer too loudly. You're a bad man, wizard. No, I'm a good man, just a bad wizard. Well, now the woodsman has his heart and the lion has his courage. I will put the scarecrow in charge. Obey him as you would me, which isn't any too well from the looks of it. Goodbye, everybody. Scarecrow, I think I'll miss you most of all. Oh, come back. Oh, stop the balloon. I can't. They'll never get home. The answer for getting home was within your reach the whole time. You didn't put me through hell for nothing? Well, yes. Tap the ruby slippers 3 times. Oh, what a crazy dream. You were there, and you were there, and even you were there, Professor Marvel. I guess there really is no place like home. Dum, 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 dum. Now, if you're like most people, and who isn't, then you're probably just like everybody else. You don't want old saws. You want new saws. You don't want ancient proverbs. You want foolish, modern proverbs. Proverbs such as these. Often, it is raining cats and dogs. Wouldn't the world be a better place if somehow they resolved their difficulties on the way down? It has been said that there's nothing more fun than a barrel of monkeys. Except maybe one monkey in a barrel, giving you that special little smile that comes hither. The crow was killed by the storm. He died by my curse, said the owl. And the alligator, who just happened to have a degree in forensic pathology, said, no, actually it was a combination of factors, including weakened resistance to disease and intestinal parasites. Why buy a cow if milk is cheap? For that matter, why buy anything if you're sturdy enough to beg? He who laughs last is a filthy hyena. But he who laughs first will forever, I will forever be grateful to him. A hungry monkey will not dance, and a scalded cat will run away from cold milk. And my question is, who's in charge around here? What kind of nightmare world is this anyway? Scalded monkeys, cats running away. Forgive me. The frog wanted to be an ox, and so he swelled up until he burst. And I'm thinking, it's a shame I couldn't get that on video. There is an Indian proverb. The foolish man will hold a candle before the sun and turn a somersault before a monkey. And I'm thinking, geez, yeah, maybe, but it sure beats working for a living. The sparrow said, I did not eat, therefore the parrot should not eat. And the parrot said, you know, I really don't appreciate that talking sparrow horning in on my act. You know what I'm saying? If a parrot says, Polly want a cracker, Polly does not need a cracker. What Polly needs is a lesson in remedial grammar. Truly, it has been said by the American philosopher Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. If you can't be with the one you love, brother, love the one you're with. This is excellent advice, especially if you are in prison. There is one nice thing about being in prison. Your parents always know where you are. If envy would burn, there would be no need of wood. And if wishes were fishes, beggars would die of mercury poisoning. It's the quiet ones who do all the work. And if only we could get them to do it for nothing, we'd all have it made now, wouldn't we? An apple a day keeps the doctor away. But I need to know what kind of fruit keeps the policeman away. Not speech, but facts convince. But a good fart drives everybody out of the room. I don't like to use the word shit. I prefer to call it something nice, like brown monuments to a healthy appetite. I know a man who had the weight of the world on his shoulders, and his head was completely crushed. If you get your opinions from talking to the man in the street, very soon both of you will be flattened by large automobiles. I know a man who was born under a lucky star, and he felt especially lucky after they pried it off of him. A lie has 7 variations. The truth has none. But a good sex manual has at least 20 or 30. And the Kama Sutra has 50. People who tell the truth are never very popular. So let's kill them. All 3 of them. There is nothing new under the sun. Matter of fact, it's probably all burned and crispy and green, and someone's trying to sell it at a garage sale and asking for far too much money. Do not ridicule the thin-bearded one, especially if it is your buddy's girlfriend. Do not cut off your nose to spite your face. Let a plastic surgeon do it, following in the example of Michael Jackson. He who dies with the best Toyotas wins. Any joke which uses a brand name as its punchline is always 2 times funnier. You can't have everything. Where would you store it? It has been said that man is the only thinking animal, the only animal who laughs, who cries. I say, man is the only animal who compiles these inane lists of what man is the only animal to do. It has been said that brevity is the soul of wit, but that's too long. How's about brevity is the So for the next half hour, actually for the next minute, I'd like to conclude with what I call the 10 Commandments for the coming millennium. It's written in rhymed couplets. Thank you. No gods but one shall be allowed. 2's company and 3's a crowd. A graven image is a crime, unless it's in the Guggenheim. Take not the name of God in vain, unless it be to entertain. The Sabbath is a day of rest. Work only at your wife's request. Show not your parents disrespect. Just treat them with benign neglect. Thou shalt not kill thine enemy, unless the state doth so decree. Adultery will God displease, unless your neighbor's wife's appease. Don't steal. What if it be your fate to take what isn't yours? Expropriate. Don't perjure, lie, or spread a slander. Do your neighbor in with candor. Covet not what is your neighbor's. Easier to mock his labors. And covet not his ass or ox. Just tax it by a ballot box. In sum, to win the world's respect, embrace the law and genuflect. In public, it is circumspect. I'm the wrong hero. Thank you very much for putting up with me.
Amen. The wrong hero, ladies and gentlemen. Please put your
you know, that's it. God, well, I was told I don't have much time up here. In fact, the way it was put to me was, brevity is the soul of wit. And I said, get to the point. I really have a rush to get over here. I went from 0 to 60 in 10 seconds. And now I'm 99 years old. There was nowhere to park. So I had to park in the handicap zone, but I felt guilty about it, so I broke my arm. Actually, I didn't really have to because all of those of you who are familiar with my act will know that I am actually an emotional cripple. The Wrong Hero is brought to you by the same people who brought you Bugaboo Creek, the Canadian-themed restaurant in Seacombe. Visit their new Australian-themed restaurant, Abo Hut. Follow the trail of ants to Abo Hut. Koala bears, please leave all eucalyptus leaves at the front door. Spiny anteaters and duck-billed platypuses, please use the servants' entrance. We accept most major credit cards, dingo pelts, and spearheads. Come to our barbecue and dwarf tossing contest. Watch us throw a real shrimp onto the Barbie at Abo Hut. Come waltzing Matilda with us at Abo Hut. Marsupials under 6 feet must be accompanied by an adult. Wrong Hero is also brought to you by Tarantula Chow. Is your spider or arachnid restless, listless? Try feeding him Tarantula Chow. Scorpions love it too. Do you, like most Americans, have an 800-pound bear chained to a stake in your backyard? Well, do yourselves a favor and get some ruin litter in the 50-pound box and the new 2-ton carload size. I believe it was Comrade Lenin who said, the capitalist is eager to sell a rope for himself to be hanged with. Plus, if you order now, for no extra charge, you also get new Raptor, perfect for hanging a rope from. Suicide note and stool sold separately. I have an important announcement. The annual meeting of the Society of Bitter Outcasts and Hermits will not be held tonight or any other night. In my civilian identity, I'm a librarian. It's the only thing I'm fit to do, and since I seem to be burning all of my bridges up here, I might have to move down south. But, the thing about Southerners is, whenever they're angry at you, they talk as though they're taking a shit. I don't know how long I can put up with that. They're like, what you doing around here? Anyone boy? Yeah, get this thing out of here. So anyway, if I decided to take a job down south as a librarian, I'm kind of wondering what kind of environment I'd be working in. Like, hey, cheater! We got that favorite book! Oh yeah, good reference. That's the Rondo Elvis and the autobiography of Mario Andretti. Excuse me, mister. You're gonna have to leave. You're not making enough noise or drinking enough beer. And you got one of them goddamn Toyota pickup trucks parked outside and it ain't even got monster tires. Don't spit chewing the back end in the drinking fountains. Can't you read the sign? You can't read? Oh well. See that fellow over there? That's the head librarian. The guy with the black sunglasses. You don't want to mess with the man with no eyes. Well, about all for me. I'm the wrong hero. My motto is stupefaction guaranteed or your money back. If I can remember where I put it.
Please put your hands together for our fabulous hostess, her Serene Highness, the Princess Pearl. And here's somebody else that's kind of cute. Please put your hands together for the Wrong Hero.
Sorry, I had to spit the toothpaste out of my mouth. Hi, I'm the wrong hero. I'm so tender and juicy, you might be tempted to eat me with a fork, but don't. Because you won't want to miss one drop of the goodness. Any hard drugs? Kids, you don't need drugs. Give them to me. I can use them. Actually, I'm addicted to placebos. I'm trying to cut down though. Now I'm doing placebo light. Only half the inert ingredients and fillers of regular placebos. Also addicted to spam, but again, trying to cut down. Doing spam light. Only half the hog eyelids and salivary glands of regular spam. On a diet, it's called the beer for breakfast diet. Brain fat just melts away like magic. Also doing the X-Lax diet. Shed ugly brown pounds in seconds. Oh, and by the way, this episode of The Wrong Hero is brought to you by Elvis Wine. It's the wine that Elvis would have drank if Elvis drank wine. And also my new Elvis crack. It's the crack Elvis would have smoked if crack had been invented. Thinking of doing a TV show, sort of like the Dukes of Hazzard, but based around the premise that Jesus was the first bootlegger because he changed the water into wine. It's like, look out, there are rumors, Jesus! Holy cow, it's changing! White water wrapped it in the white water wrapped it! Let's get more experts now! Here comes Mark Flanders, look out! Might sell, I don't know. Man with the loud laugh, I like you. Well, you know, a lot of comedy is based around anger, but unfortunately I'm angry because there's nothing to protest anymore, really. I mean, you know, you had nuclear bombs and Vietnam and apartheid and Reagan, but all that seems to be but a distant memory. And I guess the one thing that people my age are concerned about is being overweight. But somehow, marching on Washington going, no more mayonnaise! Down with eggs! Down with eggs! Somehow this doesn't have quite the same panache. Baby wants it! Out of my mouth! Now! I was watching that Beatles documentary to coincide with the release of the third Beatles anthology. And the 10 Yeah, I think you did write it for the occasion. Oh, no, we didn't write it. They didn't once mention perhaps the best and most inventive Beatles song of all. Not Revolution 9, but Tomorrow Never Knows. Well, I got to listening to that, and, it sounds like Dawn Adams from Get Smart, you know, and Tennessee Tech.
It is our time. Say, Charlie, it is our time. Sorry about that, Chief. Turn out your mouth.
That would have been a great thing to have at the Democratic and Republican and Reform Party conventions, or, you know, or a wedding or something, you know. You take this man. Yeah, I was thinking, that would be a good theme though. Tomorrow never knows, because when the conventions were running, you never knew really quite what was going to happen, except of course they were all scripted down to the minute. Jack Kemp has athlete's foot in mouth from 8:02 to 8:04, and they had a pretty plan. Bob Dole, you know, he gave a great speech. We must build a bridge to the past. But he kept on thinking that maybe he would break down and do his Frankenstein number, you know, like, life, right, Bob Dole, hey, right, life. You know, everybody's just ripping on him because he's elderly. In China, that would be an asset, you know. 73, oh, he's a youngster next to Dang. Come on. But, yeah, he said, well, you know, the food in his cupboard, the sell-by dates are in Egyptian hieroglyphics. And, you know, his chicken noodle soup has a Cro-Magnon on the can. Soup, good. You know, I don't like soup. Oh, no. There was lots of diversity at the GOP convention this year. Let's see, there were the fundamentalists who were gun nuts. There were the fundamentalists who were more into stockpiling freeze-dried food and living in cabins without running water or electric lights. And there were the fundamentalists who suspected that Jesus was soft on communism. And you can tell because you can see all the American cars in the parking lot with the bumper stickers like, "Caution, Messiah on board," or "I brake for compound fires," or "David Koresh is my co-pilot," or "Caution, in case of rapture, the driver will vanish." Yeah, that'd be cool. Why doesn't the guy get cruise control, for Christ's sake, in Nevada? He just drive 120 miles, nothing would happen. The Democratic Convention. They asked, the New York Times asked Jesse Jackson why he wasn't asked to speak in prime time. Now, you get all defensive and say, well, you know, just an example of how we've been brutalized. You know, he didn't do a Malcolm X. Now, he said, anytime I speak is prime time. And it's like, well, yeah, anytime you speak is also rhyme time, Jesse. You know what I'm saying? It's like, he's a great orator, and they were wise to showcase his immense talents in this field, and I'm glad he kept it under control at the Democratic Convention, or else it might have been something like, be like the nun who has hope in her soul, and not like the prostitute who has soap in, never mind. Be not like the sharpshooter who is nearsighted and shoots and never hits it. Be not like the constipated owl who shoots and hoots and never runs. You know, if Jesse ever were elected president, I do believe he'd be the first president to give his State of the Union address in iambic pentameter, you know? It's just wonderful. But you know who wasn't at the Democratic Convention? Conspicuous by his absence was Jimmy Carter. What happened to Jimmy? It's like, I can see how this scenario played out. Bill gets on the phone at midnight, the night before the convention. Hello, is Jimmy Carter there? This is Jimmy. How would you like to come to the Democratic Convention? Well, it's kind of late notice, Bill. I don't know, maybe I'll just sit this tomorrow. Okay, bye now. At 12:01, Bill Bill's phone rings. He picks it up. Hello, Bill. This is Jimmy. You know, I've had a minute to think about it, and maybe I will show up. I'm not here. I can do it. I'm not here. This is me. Why not? Yeah, it's like, out of here. Maybe Bill's problem is like most people over 35. He has attention deficit disorder. Mostly because when you're over 35, there's really nothing worth paying attention to anyway. But it's like, he goes from one thing to another. Well, we must work on community development. And no, we must work on gun control. No, I must lie about my golf game. No, we must work on welfare. No flex time. No. Reinventing government. No. I just can't wait for the day when he's out there going, I promise to give every American access to... He rips his mask off and sugar bear. And I was like, come on, Trent, boy. How about some of that help, kid? You know what I mean? Yes, I'm just waiting for the day. Ross Perot. Has he picked the vice president yet? I think that you got that gorilla who saved the baby at the zoo. Oh yeah, more humane, more intelligent, bigger ears, makes Ross look good. Love to see that. And his reform convention speech, I don't think anybody watched it, but I can imagine what transpired there. Well, as my friend Henry Truman used to say, you can't stand the heat, get away from the sun. That was before he was abducted by aliens in the outer space. But in politics, I'm like the turd in the punch bowl. I'm like the bastard at the family reunion. Well, politics is not a soccer contest between tangways, and the bathtub overflows, and you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You look at Bob, he's stinky and mean, and his name sounds like a British pension plan. And oh, never mind, I was flying over Area 54 in Roswell, New Mexico, and I was thinking to myself, if I'm elected president, I will never let aliens blow up the White House. I'll do it myself. That Ralph Nader, he's running on the Green Party. I think he's been driving too many cars without airbag. That's just my opinion. And I was thinking, I'm here, you're there, I'm here, you're there, they're there, and God bless America. In parole we trust. I have a question. Incidentally. What happens when you pour ginger ale onto Rice Krispies? I don't know. I have another question. Keep moving. Half John Wayne, half Doris Day, man. If you touch that gun, I'll kill you. Oh! Why do people pray? Why do people pray to God? I think it's for much the same reason that dogs howl when you turn the garbage disposal on. So I'd like to do an impression. It's a dog howling at a garbage disposal with a police siren in the background and a spitting cat. That one needs work. Sometimes I feel like I'm in a silent movie that has some of the frames missing, Well, I may fail, but I'm original. I humbly accept your applause. Where's the fucking standing ovation? No, that's Pearl's prerogative. I must. As I was saying, I may fail, but I'll fail better. Samuel Beckett said that, but he hasn't been gigging lately, so. Well, I feel so good. I think I'll do something that I'm not even prepared to do, and you probably won't really like very much, but I really don't care. I mean, I do care, but I don't. I kind of do. It's called the hate quote. Hate. It is in everything that you do. It's hate. It makes me want to crush you with my shoe. The hate quote. It's hate. It's hate. I'm the wrong hero. Thank you very much. smell good. You wouldn't know until you look at me. But I used to be afraid of speaking in public before a large audience. The Reader's Digest is getting its own website. That's great, you know, Granny can like click on to the World Wide Web. Well, I used to read the Reader's Digest, but I'm doing the healthy Eskimo diet, only 95% of calories from fat. And of course, I can't believe it's not blubber. Plenty of that. At the Republican convention, Susan Molinari was the keynote speaker, and unfortunately for her, she will probably forever go down in history as the woman who said that she, quote, experimented with marijuana. Now, we're all grown-ups here, and I have to confess that I too experimented with marijuana for, 23 years. I wanted to make sure I got the experiment right. So there I was in my sinister mountaintop fortress with my foaming beakers and my electrodes and my hunchback assistant and going, those fools at the university, they call me mad. Mad! I'll kill them now! Yeah. And yes, I experimented with marijuana in college, but my secret was I didn't exhale until now. Actually, I've given up drugs about 1 minute ago. Isn't that convenient? Yeah. And the thing is, party time with the buds out in the woods just isn't the same without the wacky tobacco and the left-handed cigarettes. You know, it's like, hey man, I bet you can't chug this whole quart of salted water in one continuous gulp. Fucking A, man! Fucking H2O! Hey, get into this air! Hold it in, hold it in! This is good shit, man! It's really expensive. Hold it in, man. Oh, wow. This stuff's fantastic. Look at all those colors. Black and gray. It's 12 12 midnight cosmic, man. Ow. Gotta be careful around people who take drugs because people on drugs have a disconcerting tendency to notice everything, like nice water. It glitters. It glitters. It glitters. Well, speaking of debauchery, I saw that movie Restoration. It's about that doctor during the time of the Great Plague and Fire of London in 1666. You know, you thought something, I'm a genius, so therefore I hate everything. But I thought it was pretty good, actually. And but the thing is, I'm against costume dramas. Like, I will not go into any movie where the guy can blow his nose on his sleeve. You know what I'm saying? It's like, just not for me. Well, you know what's happening tomorrow? The Great Debate. Bob Dole makes Walter Mondale look like Mr. Excitement. Mr. President, when are we going to get rid of these terrible, terrible nuclear weapons? Mr. President, when are we going to bring back these nuclear weapons already? I don't know. You know, I think Bob Dole kind of missed his calling, and I was hoping maybe now that Perot's not on debates, he would jazz things up a little. Maybe come in a costume, a little tricorn hat, an eye patch. He can come as a pirate, you know? Like, shivering timbers, lay me in a summer for a swab. Bill Clinton, the biggest landlubber I ever laid eyes on. While me boys was a full fathom 5 and Davy Jones locker, Bill Clinton was off with his college friends at Oxford, swilling grog and protesting the French New War. I really wish that this would happen, but of course it isn't. Or maybe he could break into a Captain Beefheart song or something right in the middle of his speech. You know, we're going to build a bridge to the Hoodart, Hoodart. You know, I wish he'd do something like that, but he won't. But, you know, I had a thought. And now, you know, this is a very special moment in the history of the Wrong Hero. He's actually going to tell a joke. And not only that, it's like a classic, man. Now that I've built it up beyond any reasonable expectation, I'll tell the joke. The presidential candidates were at the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Bill Clinton said, as he looked up at the face of our Lord, Jesus, I feel your pain, and I promise guaranteed health care for every crucified Nazarene. And Bob Dole looked up at him and said, come on, Jesus, that wound ain't so bad. You should see the one I got in World War II. Come on, you big sissy, walk it off, walk it off. And Ross Perot said, well, you know, it just goes to show, you can't go crying to your daddy every time you get into a scrape. You know, it's like this, you see. I do the same all around. Every time you try to do something different, they go out and crucify you. And, of course, Pat Buchanan was there, and he said, hey, don't give him none of them vinegar sponges. Isn't that just like a stinking Nazarene taking something he doesn't want just because it's free? Listen, Jesus, why don't you just go right back where you came from? So anyway, that was the incredibly classic joke. Ralph Nader said, this crucifix symbolizes a two-party duopoly which has been squeezing all rational debate out of this presidential race. Well, cool. Finally got it on. Oh, and the Libertarian candidate said, that's another example of big government poking its nose in where it's not wanted. The Libertarians, you know, they're against big government and all that. I'm like crudely summarizing Harry Brown's winning campaign speeches for you. I'm running for president, and my motto in this race is, if I want any shit out of you, I'll squeeze your head. You know, I can just see if I actually won. Scene 1, Wrong Hero sworn in as president. Scene 2, cut to mushroom cloud. what does the wrong hero really do anyway? I've been asking myself that question. And, yeah, I roll out an old tennis sneaker and throw it in there with some tennis balls. That's the Otis Redding version, not the Jackie Wilson version. Sorry, can't do Jackie Wilson. Well, I had trouble holding down a conventional job on. Yeah. It's so, kid. It's so. That was shoeless Joe Jackson in the 1920 World Series Black Sox scandal. Yes, there we go. Please, will you not listen to my bootless cries? My employers, they write like really nice letters of recommendation, so I don't know why I can't get a job. Like, you will be very lucky if you can get the wrong hero to work for you. Everybody here is mad about the wrong hero's work. The wrong hero treats every job as a challenge. The wrong hero was fired with enthusiasm. I don't know, with a great recommendation like that, I don't know why I can't get the big bucks. I'll tell you what the wrong hero does. I'm keeping with the theme of the Captain B part that was on the stereo sound system. My job basically is to make invalids out of Superman. To make heroes doubt the reasons for their existence. Like whenever I get near Superman, he starts saying stuff like, should I really be showing off like this? Can I really fly? Maybe people will think that this S is actually an SS and I'm a Nazi. Maybe I shouldn't do this anymore. Maybe I can become a normal person, call myself Man or something, I don't know. I go visit Batman and he goes, I'm a rich guy, maybe I should just give all my money to the crooks and then there'd be no more crime. Why didn't I think of that before? And the Hulk, walk up to him. He's a tough one. He goes, Hulk, not smash. Hulk, nurture. Hulk, learn how to use pronouns. And the subjunctive tense. And I go visit the Flash. He goes, well, if I could run at the speed of light, wouldn't my legs fly out of my sockets? Maybe I shouldn't do this anymore. The Submariner, Is it Submariner or Submariner? Why am I the monarch of an undersea kingdom which no government on Earth recognizes? Can I really breathe water? And do these tiny wings on my ankles really have the power to sustain flight? And poor Captain America, man, that fucker, I left him in a real quandary, which is a laundromat run by a duck, incidentally. He's like, what's this shield made of, and why can't the crooks just get similar material and make bullets out of it and shoot me? And Wonder Woman. If I'm on Amazon, how come I still have both of my breasts? And if I'm a feminist, then why do I walk around in this skimpy outfit? And the Silver Surfer, he's a pretty melancholy guy anyway, but boy, I really put him in he was like, isn't the notion of a bald man on a surfboard a ridiculous concept to begin with? Am I a hero, or am I just a baby boomer undergoing a midlife crisis? The Fantastic Four, I conquered them. It's like the Human Torch. Is it hot in here, or is it just me? I shouldn't be doing this. I'm just a glorified cigar lighter for the Thing. Behind my back, Reed Richards calls me Arson Boy. And the Thing, he's up there, built like a brick shit house, literally. That's my power. And, with all these great powers, I spent half my time fighting these punks on Yancey Street and the Invisible Girl. What a power to have. The power to turn invisible. Any deadbeat dad can do the same. I don't even know why I'm in this group. Mr. Fantastic. He's like, what's so fantastic about my powers? Plastic Man, Elastic Lad, and I don't even have their sense of humor. But Spider-Man, I walked up to him and he says, now I know what I must do. So it didn't work on him. Anyway, I'm the wrong hero. Sometimes I make you laugh. Sometimes I make you think. And sometimes I just want to kill you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, a little earlier, my friend ran backstage and she said, do you know what that song you sang was about? And I said, well, she did.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the royal hero.
Lend me your wallet. For I am the wrong hero. And now is the time for all good men to come to the aid of their partner. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. Jackdaw is loved by big sphinx of quartz. This isn't what I really wanted to say, I was just testing my typewriter. Looking back on a grand sweep of American history, I like to remember leaders of yore. Eisenhower's shiny bald head, Kennedy's refusal to wear hats, LBJ's appendicitis scar, Nixon's resentful snarl, Ford's clumsiness, Carter's fear of rabbits, Reagan's glittering gaze of incomprehension, Bush's reedy voice, Clinton's compulsive munching. Hi, I'm the wrong hero, and I'm your candidate for the presidency of the United States. Thank you. Now, as president, I promise to empty the White House of all the historical junk that the other stupid presidents put up there. I will sell our nation's treasures to our nation's enemies at rock bottom prices. I will replace the Bill of Rights with the Bill of Wrongs. I will sell Hawaii back to Japan, Alaska back to Russia, and the Louisiana Purchase back to France, and Florida back to Spain, incidentally, and the Gadsden Purchase back to Mexico. I hope I didn't leave anything out. Yes, it will be a busy first day in the Oval Office when you elect me as your president. Ronald Reagan said, that it's morning in America. I say it's half past monkey's ass and quarter to his balls. Anyway, now it's time to do the cornball recitative about how much I love America that the boys in the back room have cooked up for me. Here goes. I love America. Corn on the cob, the Mississippi River, smog, and all that other stuff. Excuse me, I've got something in my eye. Oh, it's my eyeball. Over there, that's over there, thank God. I'm gonna try a subliminal thing here. Don't listen, don't listen, don't listen. Hey, not bad. Anyway, as I look out at this sea of suffering and tormented, oh sorry, that's the wrong speech. These pauses sure come in handy when you don't know what to say next. Anyway, let me talk about my impoverished childhood, which I'm going to milk for every drop of sentiment that I can. Growing up, we didn't have Lincoln logs. We had Nixon logs. They fell apart under direct pressure. I'd like now to tell a cute little story. When I was a kid, I used to think that the moon followed me around. Then I realized it was following my father around because he owed his money. I intend to bring some controversy to this race for the presidency, so let me fearlessly take my stand and say, farms are important. Lakes are full of fish. The future is tomorrow. You can't spell freedom without the word free or dumb. Icebergs are a threat to the merchant marine. Clocks are big. Machines are heavy. Anyway, back to the main topic, this election. In this election, I stand courageously in Foursquare against cradle robbers, axe murderers, kidnappers, porno kings, union bosses, crooks, poor folk haters, farmer murderers, shooters of widows and orphans, well poisoners, charity hospital bombers, spinners on our heroic baseball empires, rich enemies of our public schools, private bankers, Mexican debt cancelers, unemployment makers, communist pacifists, depleted uranium munitions manufacturers, and drunken skunks who steal Gideon Bibles out of motel rooms. Now I know these stands are controversial, but that's the kind of guy I am. And most of all, as president, I promise to do something about those yellow-bellied rascals that put them fine ripened stickers on their green tomatoes. Yeah. Now in earlier speeches I have said that politics is sports for people who are too fat to run. I say to you today that politics is judo for people who are too fat to wear the skimpy outfits. Now, if elected, I promise I will treat you like mushrooms. I'll keep you in the dark and I'll feed you a loaded crowd. As president, I promise to rid this country of cockroaches because I don't want you to have nothing. As president, I promise to eliminate hunger by nationalizing salad bars. As president, I promise to eliminate war by replacing war as a means of diplomacy with the exchange of ugly clothing around Christmas time. Here's Saddam, feast your eyes on this. Our poet laureates, The Temptations, said in Ball of Confusion, "Feel the first song of my love, and I'll go in the preacher." As president, I'll kill him too. In this race, I will settle for nothing less than complete victory. But I'm willing to compromise. Furthermore, I am inflexibly pugnacious. But I can change that And I'll fight the first man who says different. Here's where we stand. The Democrats look for things the government can do. The Republicans look for things the government ought not to do. And on Saturday morning, I look for my favorite program, Scooby-Dooby-Doo, Where Are You? Here's what I believe. Like Dick Morris, I want to get America back on its feet. Or at least to suck its toes. Like Jack Kemp, I want to get the government off our backs and put a cute little monkey there instead. Like Bill Clinton, I'm in favor of the ordinary American. He's easy to fool with false promises. I want less interest on our bank loans and more interest in funding my campaign. I want more cops in your neighborhood and no cops in my neighborhood. Thank you very much. A lot of people are talking about the special interests driving this presidential race. In this race, I want you all to know that I have no special interests I've sold my soul to, because I have no soul. And I would never sell my integrity for short-term gain unless I can get the money in cash right now. My political philosophy is concise, unlike this speech. Like most Americans, I think Washington has too much power, and like most Americans, I think the government should do something about it. If I had one wish, I would wish that the government would disappear, but not before they give me all their money. Let me say this, I will be altruistic if it pays off. As president, I will crush my foes with niceness. As president, I promise more social justice and no money to implement it. And while we're on this topic, I suggest we freeze all legal immigration to this country. Of course, if they're Canadians, that won't be hard because they're already half frozen. I promise if elected to paint all the black helicopters blue and white and fly them only in the daytime. If elected, I promise to provide a better future for America's children, or, at least, to infantilize public discourse so that we all become America's children. Besides, if you're like most Americans, and who isn't, then you're probably just like everybody else. You don't care about my ideas, you just want to know how I'm prepared to bribe you. And how soon? Well, I promise on the day I'm elected to give every one of you $100 in genuine counterfeit currency. Guaranteed 100% authentic or your money back. You know, years ago I wouldn't have been allowed to run for president, but nowadays people have a more sophisticated understanding of mental health. As you know, I'm running for president. Now, some say the only thing the wrong hero should run for is the insane asylum. I'll kill them all. Because the black helicopters are following me! I'm not a beast, not a beast, not a beast! I'm not a beast, beast, beast! I will say this. I never hit the panic button. Except when I can't find it. Where is it? Where is it? It has been said that he who loves mankind also loves medicine. Well, I don't love mankind, but I sure do love my medicine. Basically, I'm into politics because my source for real drugs has dried up. If elected president, I promise to legalize aggressive panhandling near automatic teller machines. If not elected, I'll probably go back to my old job, aggressive panhandling near automatic teller machines. As your president, I will never ask you to swallow something that's not good for you. Of course, that's the same promise I make to my dog when I give her her heartworm medicine. Let me also say this. My vice president will not be a lapdog. My vice president will be a German Shepherd. I may talk too slowly and look too old. I know that. but I can balance a biscuit on the end of my nose and swallow it with one gulp. And so can my vice president, the German Shepherd. Actually, she's the one who taught me that little trick. Now, some have called me obese. I'm not fat, I'm just pathologically husky. My critics have charged me with stealing from the bodies and the homes of dead people. As my lawyer will explain, there is a logical explanation for all the items I have in my possession, including an allegedly stolen dog dish with the name of the deceased dog inscribed on the side of it. Now, some have said I have a soft spot in my heart for Joe Stalin, but nobody can prove a thing. And some have said I have a Nazi graveyard in my cellar, but most of those brave soldiers were only following orders. In my psyche, two factions are at war. Wishy and washy. Tweedledum and Tweedledummer. I have two devils on my shoulder. One's a good devil. The other one's just a fucking devil, I guess. Now I just want you to remember, no matter how strangely I may act in the days to come, I just do what the gun tells me to. To conclude then, someday I hope to see an America in which all of my ideas have been adopted. An America with no ideas. For I have no ideas. And with that, let us draw the curtain on this, my final speech of the presidential campaign until the next one. Let me say this. Let us never fear to negotiate. In fact, let us never negotiate at all, but let us simply say, all right, you're wrong. Who put the fucking hair up your ass? Who put the firecracker in your pantaloon? Who's down and let you get it? You must think you're the man with the fuzzy nuts. Who do you think you're boss-hogging out here? When you're just Joe shit the right man. Do you understand? Why you know be my friend? After all, I'm not running for president. I'm gonna be your fucking king. I'm the wrong hero. Thank you all very much. There's suicide. Yeah, okay. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, we have them. Please welcome Mark Carter and the Mark Carter X.
Go on, and then I'll say our first song. We've got two songs for you ce soir, this evening, and we'll bring them up to you. But right now, I'd like you to please put your hands together for the wrong hero.
I'm the wrong hero. Alcoholic, drug addict, easy guy to shop for around Christmas time. Ho, ho, ho. Hint, hint. Yeah, well, you know, Christmas with the family isn't enough to draw anybody to drink. Or as they used to say in Massachusetts, drinking and drugging. The family gatherings where, even though you're a 40-year-old man, your relatives refer to you in your presence in the third person. Oh, look at him. He's got his grandfather's smile. That's because I borrowed his dentures. Yes, scientists have discovered a neurosis gene. It's like, whoa, you know, they must have been in their atomic laboratory, you know, with the bubbling beakers and hunchback assistants for hours a day to figure this one out. My dad, he's a meat and potatoes man. His arms are made of French fries, his legs are made of steak. It's like his blood is made of gravy, and I'm like, what kind of nightmare world is this? No, actually, my dad was a hippie, and he used to say stuff like, son, I'm going to teach you a lesson I'll never remember. And, you know, when I was a kid, I used to think the moon followed me around. Then I realized it was following my father around because he owed it money. I went to my dentist. He's also my psychiatrist. He said, your cavities are all in your head. You know, thank you. Thank you so much. Let's hear it for the band. Yeah, neurosis. They voted me scapegoat of the year, and now they're persecuting me because I won't accept the award. Working on a book, it's called Overcoming Codependency with the One Person You Can't Live Without. No matter what. Oh, come on, somebody gotta have it. Part 1. Part 2 is called Here I Am with a tag around my toe at the mortuary. No. Every Christmas time, it's great. They used to have Saturnalia. People would get drunk and sing in the streets and threaten strangers. And then they had folks who would come to the rich people's doors, wassailers, and, you know, and basically their message was, give us lots of good things to eat, we'll leave you alone, leave you alone. You know, that was our great Christmas tradition. But now, you know, everything's modern. We have the drunk at the karaoke bar. Which, you know, is a vast improvement over hearing your old Uncle Al talking to the mixed nuts in the nut bowl. You know, you walnuts got brains. Stick with me, we'll go places. You Brazil nuts, you don't belong here. Don't bring them here until the Spanish peanuts moved in. And you know, these guys at the karaoke bars, they can't really hit the high notes, and it's sad. It's like Joe Cocker singing, you are so beautiful for all eternity. It's too much. They think of Pavarotti. It's sort of like Orson Welles the sound he used for Rishnikov, you know? And you know, of course, inevitably, it's like the Irishmen, like, oh, Danny boy, they acted out. The pipes are calling. You know, ow, brutal and too flat. I think I wet myself. Let's have another drink. Newcastle brown ale. Yeah, that's good. Or, you know, we'll go into the Italian songs like, again, when the moon hits your eye like a big piece of pie, that's some more. I regard that as a slur on my Italian ancestry, incidentally. Or, you know, maybe they'll go with the Carpenter's repertoire, like, on the day that you were born, the angels got together. I forget. Or, excuse me, I gotta get a drink here. Barbara Streisand, you know, I'm fine, I'm a big girl now, I'm fine. What do you think, I'm free? Not me. What do you think, I'm poor? I'm more than poor. I'm even more than poor, you know. I'm fine. No, you know, it's so hard during the performance of that song. It's not unusual to be in love with anyone. And a playground in my mind is, come on, be my little good luck charm. Your sweet delight, well, it's been building up inside of me. a 70s songbook like, Imagine there's no heaven. Yeah, I can see John Lennon up there in heaven going, Imagine there's no heaven. Or maybe they'll go into the Elton John songbook. Any requests? Philadelphia Freedom Puppet, to a man. That's not the idea of the to a man. I'll tell you that right now. And towards the end of the night, their repertoire hits a little thin on the ground. They've sung every Elvis song, every Beatles song you know half of, even a couple of songs by The Who, you know. I've had enough of being nice. No more Mr. Nice Guy. No, this is an insane medley. So then they get into the stuff like round and round the mulberry bush, a monkey chasing a weasel. What kind of fish the hell is it? A monkey chasing a weasel around the mulberry bush. And then finally, around Christmas time, of course, it's like Santa Claus is coming tonight. This lucky bastard is born on the Duke. And the sacred stuff from there. They get sentimental around 12 midnight. Oh, sacred head surrounded by crown of piercing thorns. Come on, pull it back to there. Grab the mountain. That's what I wanted. And finally, the big Christmas classic. Oh, holy night, the stars above are shine. Everybody, high, everybody, high, everybody, high, everybody, high, everybody, high. Well, I'm going to sing a little song for you. It's called Jesus the Snowman. Get me back again someday, and so on. We're all here. Good night.
I am the wrong hero, and now I'm going to put a trash can on my head. This is like incredibly, this is Boffo yucks here, so, I mean, there. You know, comedy's a funny business. Actually, when I do it, it's not funny at all. But, anyway, what I was getting at was, comedy is a very difficult and treacherous business, and, of course, it's by no means a solo affair. It's something of a family affair to a certain degree because, hi, I'm the wrong hero. And by the way, you've just been watching Exotic Freak and Chaos live at AS220 Volume 5. That's right, 5 big ones. That means I've done over 10 hours worth of stuff. Yeah, anyway, yeah, you can't really do comedy without your family. Now, you know, it's kind of not really kosher to make your family the butt of your humor. They don't particularly appreciate it, except unless, of course, you're incredibly rich and famous thereby, and can therefore sort of compensate them with large cash settlements for slander, and then the money sort of alleviates their embarrassment a good deal. And anyhow, you know, I wouldn't really have the motivation to do this sort of thing if it weren't for the warmth and love and support that I have failed to get from my family, and which motivates me to a startling degree that you would not even be able to begin to comprehend unless you, of course, you yourself were in a situation like mine where your family is thousands of millions of miles away on a planet which you yourself destroyed in order to escape your family. Anyhow, yeah, you know, I wasn't really very spiteful about it. I mean, I had a very good reason for destroying my home planet. It's because when I was 16, they didn't give me a car, so I just hot-wired a rocket ship and set a gigantic charge of dynamite in there and blew the whole thing up. And as I was rocketing away from my exploding home planet and the radioactive fragments were pelting the hull of my rocket ship, I remember thinking to myself, gee, maybe I should have set a longer fuse and used just a teensy bit less dynamite. Anyhow, I have my own family now here on planet Earth, and they are, of course, my family of animal companions, which every superhero that's been around for more than 10 years seems to accumulate, with the possible exception of the Marvel superheroes, who don't seem to have cute pets. It's only the DC superheroes. You know, like Supergirl had Super Horse, Superboy accumulated a veritable menagerie, which included Super Dog, and Super Monkey, and of course Supergirl also had Super Cat. Do you get the dichotomy here? Superboy has a monkey and a dog, a ferocious rutting dog and a filthy monkey that exposes itself to people, and Supergirl had a benign cat, a spitting, hissing, clawing cat, and a dignified, aloof horse. And there's just this little this thing, So, but I have a veritable menagerie of my own. Oh, and Batman had Ace the Bat Hound. Ace the Bat Hound. Okay? Now, this was in the 50s and 60s, to be fair. And it had a distinctive mark on its forehead, so Batman had it wear a mask. Now, what dog in its right mind would consent to, run around and do all sorts of dangerous feats with a mask on its head? I mean, I can understand a guy a millionaire playboy who decides to fight crime and jumps around in a skimpy undersuit, but the thing with the dog kind of ruined it for me, I'm queuing up tapes here. Let's see, eject. I don't want to play a bad joke on my girlfriend and not tape her soap opera, so I'm going to put the tape in there, just so that thing does not happen. But what I was getting at, I guess, with this incredibly... She taped over my copy of Buster Keaton's 7 Chances and Battling Butler, incidentally. Not his 2 greatest or most well-known films, which of course is the whole reason I want to tape them, because then you can be one of the cognoscenti, one of the in-crowd, one of the people in the know. Oh, well, you've seen The General, but have you ever seen Battling Butler? Which has one really great scene at the very end where he's walking down the street dressed in a boxer's outfit and a top hat. And it was really something. Let's see, how does this work? You turn everything off first. I can't tell, it kind of confuses me. Do you turn off the cable box to tape? Or do you turn it on? Well, at 1 o'clock I'll find out soon enough. So, anyway. Life on this planet has been pretty good to me, I must say. And I have my own veritable menagerie of pets, beginning with, of course, Garbage Bear, but I don't bring him out very much. I have him chained to a stake in my backyard, like most Americans. Let's see, of course, I have Dumpster Dog. He's very good at finding things, or at least that's what I tell the detectives when they want to know where I acquired that fur and those jewels. And of course, Feral Cat, well, it's not really my pet. It sort of belongs to the entire neighborhood or whoever's willing to feed him. And I have all these pets, and, well, that's sort of the gist of the joke here. I mean, quite a build-up, all right? I mean, 5 minutes just to get to the fact that my pet cat is called Feral Cat. I mean, that's kind of lame, I know. And, of course, I have pet flies and mosquitoes and whatnot, and bacteria that I have a soft spot in my heart for, which, I use to infect my enemies. And too bad I can't infect them with the spirit of merriment. Anyhow, I wanted to say something about these shows. They were all recorded in 1996 at AS220 in Providence. They represent virtually my entire output of performances at that venue for the year 1996. And of course that fact has absolutely no significance whatsoever. But I suppose sometime in perhaps December of 1997 you can look forward to part 6 of the AS220 experience, if I'm still with those bums. by that time, if in fact I'm still a viable performer by that time. Yes, it's been a long 11 years since I first decided to do this stuff, and by God, I'm not getting any better, but I am getting older and more experienced and wiser in the ways of man, and so I guess that in itself is its own reward. Don't let anybody tell you that. When someone says experience is its own reward, you say, yes, but I prefer cash. So anyway, I'll do the closing credits now, and fortunately the camera is working well enough. See how I didn't shave? That sort of represents, that sort of helps firm up my reputation as being a roughhouse and a brawler. And all those big scars on my chin, which you don't usually get to see. Nor do you usually get to see my eyes, you see. That's all important. The eyes are the windows to the soul, and I have no soul, hence the mask. I don't want people to know this. Anyhow, I'm like the man without a country. Gosh darn the United States. This has been The Wrong Hero in Exotic Freak and Chaos, live at AS220 Volume 5. And of course you are tuned to Cafe Cabaret. And thank you for tuning in. And I apologize for the quality of the Kinescope recordings. Primitive 50s technology. But you know, it's the lounge experience. So anyway, this is The Wrong Hero signing off. This show was produced by Francis DiMenno for Cafe Cabaret.